The lights are off and away they go.
Extremely loose. He's managed to hold on. I think he missed the complete. He's crazy.
As I said, Freitas is on the grass on the infield for 4. He slides through. He tags Richard.
The last time Formula Neagle came to Spa was 2 seasons ago. Errol Num, the current point leader, was bested that day by his longtime rival Tuan Tran. If Tran is going to catch Num in this season's points chase, he'll need to repeat performance as the Absolute Beginners League's Formula Neagle returns to Spa for round 4 of 7 on the season 12 calendar. And all the open wheel skippy action is brought to you live as it happens here on the Global Sim Racing channel. The aroma of Belgian chocolates mixes with the smell of engine exhaust. Hello and welcome to GSRC's Countdown to Green. Way up in the press box to bring you our Words Eye View is yours truly, Bill Soupson. Filling in for Adam Young today is Never Say Die Dawson Brock. Turning the knobs and pushing the sliders is the hardest working man in sim race broadcasting, our director, Joe Peak. Armed with cameras, located, aimed, zoomed, and focused by GSRC's camera guru, Dougie Beard. If you brought cyberspace into your place, then over the next 15 streaming award-worthy minutes, GSRC will bring you all the storylines, all the stats and facts you'll need to fully appreciate the 70 minutes of simulated skip barber racing that will immediately follow. Now, Dawson, I know your area of expertise leans towards the oval, but racing is racing, and you've picked a great track to get introduced to the ABL, Spa.
Absolutely, and it's designed in 1920 and it was laid out on public roads. Original course had about 25 turns and was 15 kilometers. And then after World War II, the track was shortened slightly but remained the fastest road circuit in Europe and had a nasty reputation for being dangerous. But then in 1981, safety concerns forced the track to be shortened, cutting some 7 kilometers out of the old layout. The modern layout layout. The one we are racing on today has been around since 2007. It's about 20 turns and 7 kilometers. But the best way to get an idea of what this place is like is to jump on board the GSRC at Skip Barber and take a lap.
Alright, we've got Amjad Yaman in the GSRC Skippy, so let's do a lap around Spa. Heading down to La Source, this is a possible overtaking spot, but it's a bit pointless in these cars because of the drafting section that follows. What's more important here is keeping out of trouble on lap 1. Give each other space and don't be stupid. It's also critical to get your exit right because you won't be lifting all the way until you reach Lacombe. Hesitate on the power and you'll be losing time for a significant chunk of the course. Now, as we hit the bottom of the hill, the car will compress in Eau Rouge and then get light across Rodillion. Straighten them out as much as you can, but be very careful not to cut the course at the top. You'll be losing position after position as you try to give the time back down Kimmel Straight. At this point, you'll want to tuck into the draft of the car ahead. Even if they're a second and a half away, you'll be getting help, so it's worth following their slipstream. If you got everything right, you can be fully passed by the braking for Lacombe. If you're not, it'll be a battle of positioning your car and outbraking your opponent. Both sides can defend, but it takes respect from both drivers to give room. Hold left just a bit on the exit to give a better run through Malmedy, which should only require a little lift on entry. By now, we're at the highest point on the track. If you're sneaky, Rivage is another corner that can offer passing opportunities. But it's a 180-degree right-hander, so learning to balance your car is going to really help you feel confident through here. You'll need that if you find yourself going toe-to-toe with another car. Now we switch right and give the lightest of brushes on the brakes for this left-hander. If you get it wrong, you're going to put you and your opponent in a very awkward position because Pouhon isn't really a passing zone. Going too wide through there isn't the best of ideas. This is another long downhill turn that really requires a good balance and an excellent sense of timing for when to apply the gas. Thankfully, by now we've hit the bottom of the hill and we'll switch left for Fondies. This is a medium speed chicane, so it can be possible to get passes done into here. It just isn't always the easiest of propositions. Like most chicanes, it's more important to set up for the second half. But in this case, it's only a short stretch afterwards, so if you botch it, you're not in too much trouble. As soon as you're done with that, we hit Curva Paul Frere. The first half is much slower, but it's the second apex that requires perfection. Only a tiny lift will get you through correctly, and you don't want to give away any more than you have to. Once again, Spa provides a winding stretch of road where drafting will wind up making it something of a strategic game. Then, you come upon Blanchimont. Once again, it's up to the more daring drivers to see how little they can let off the power on their way in. But there's no time to relax because you've got to line the car up left and put the binders on for the bus stop chicane. Whether you still consider it the bus stop chicane is neither here nor there because it's both a technical and gutsy corner. Pass attempts happen often, but outthinking your opponent can allow you to outdrag them out of the second apex with a good over-under. But the giant curves, the huge deceleration, and the change of direction means many drivers get tangled up with each other. But if you got through clean, you've now finished a lap around Spa.
Joe Peak talking us around the track that has the highest fun per letter ratio on the iRacing service, Spa. And now let's take a look at the championship point ratios. With 2 wins and a third so far this season, the Roland Estonian Errol Num is well on his way to his, count 'em, 5th championship. After 41 starts, Mama Jean Racing's Bastian Hausmann finally picked up his first Formula Neagle win last round at the Nürburgring Ring. DBR has its 2 entries, Team Talent and 2 Stupid Dogs occupying the next 2 slots. Liam Quinn in 3rd and Vincent Bream in 4th have combined for 97 career starts, with neither, as of yet, to sip the victory champagne. And it's been all 5s for AM Racing's Andrew Leach in his only 2 starts this season. It's been 5th and 5th, which lands him in 5th on the overlay. Moving to the team championship, Hausmann and his teammate Tuan Tran have the purple and black attack of Mama Jean Racing comfortably out in front. Now, Frederick Neptune has only entered 1 race this season, so try as he might to do it all alone, Errol Num's Bush Pink team drops into 2nd. Holding station is Two Stupid Dogs, powered by Bream and David Third Degree Burns. Am Racing Prime's team sits fourth. Leach is on that one, coupled up with Michael Hoffland-Dazen. Team Talent makes the overlay in fifth, thanks to Liam Quinn and Austin Espity. So Dawson, as the shadows grow long and thin, we've talked about the track, gone over the points. Now let's look at the specifics of this late afternoon's event.
Well, this round 4 of 7 here at Spa, no drop weeks. So every week you have to stay consistent and get as many points as possible. You have one bad week, and it just might be the deciding factor as we come into the last couple steps of this series. Now, 70 minutes is the race distance. Today, sometimes they work with 45, but tonight you get to see 70 minutes of action. You're looking at about 2 stops for fuel, no tires really. They don't seem to need to take any of them. 24 incident camps. Now, that's a big deal here at Spa. A lot of runoffs areas. You can pick up a couple off tracks, so you're going to have to watch out for that and make sure you keep it clean. No quick repairs. The car you come with is the car you're going to have to finish with.
And as Dawson, before we let you talk about the weather, let's just go over the pit stops again. We expect it to be a long run and maybe a splash and go at the end. Maybe somebody might be able to one-stop this one if they're really careful. If they get into tow, save a lot of fuel. We'll see how that plays out. We talked about 7 races in the books. We got 3 in the books, 3 to go. We are smack dab right in the middle of the season. But weather always plays a factor in the race. What's it look like today, Dawson?
Oh, it's mostly cloudy with about 69 degrees for an air temp, 72 for a track. That's relatively cool here for iRacing. It's late afternoon with the winds coming about 7 miles out of the east with about 38% humidity, so it should be relatively cool and pretty comfortable.
You got a little time in the city. Did you have some fun at Spa?
Absolutely. I think I kind of regret not buying that car earlier. I just had to buy it real quick to be able to come here and broadcast. And, you know, it was a lot of fun. It was easy to drive. I was able to go around and complete a lap on my first try, which that normally doesn't happen on any road circuit for me. But yeah, this car is a lot of fun. It's pretty easy to handle, and it should be a lot of fun tonight.
I think what we're looking at here is there's enough drafting areas in this. I would expect that we see pack racing pretty much like we do, and we cover a lot of races in the MX-5s here, which is a similarly powered car. Maybe punches a little bigger hole, but these Skipsies are pretty draft dependent as well. So often, Dawson, the race comes down to the final lap, and it is in what they call the chicane, what we like to call the bus stop. And there's enough room that if you can make the pass at the bus stop, you can also have a drive race to the start-finish line out of it.
Yeah, it would be a pretty quick drag race, but enough of one to where I think if you are right next to the guy coming into that chicane, you might be able to outbrake him, get side by side through there. And this is going to be a lot of action. I think near the end of the race, we'll be sitting right there watching it all happen.
Okay, now this is called the Absolute Beginner League. Don't be fooled by that. That they are certainly friendly and they invite new drivers to come in, and they like to help them out so they can increase their, get their talent, become faster drivers. But there are a lot of top-tier drivers here today. Now, when you were out there getting used to the Skippy, what corners gave you trouble?
Well, I found that the slower corners were actually sometimes my problem. I know the chicane I kind of blew it the first time, but it was enough of one to where you kind of learned it and you fixed it up pretty quick. A Rouge was actually fairly easy. It seemed like you just put it in 5th gear and climb up the hill. The Skippy doesn't have much power, but it had enough to where I didn't think I had to shift down to 4th gear. It didn't bog down very much.
Okay, what we'll do now is we'll go to once again, this new and very popular segment, the Spotlighted Driver. This week, we're going to follow the progress of Am Racing 2 driver. It is the Strudelmeister himself, Thomas Kick. And you can see there that we're going to go with him, and we're going to follow his progression through the field. There's a nice little overlay. Keep an eye on him, racing in the number 44 machine. And let's see, actually, we can go to qualifying right now. Let's see if Thomas is out there. Where is he sitting as we look for Thomas? 27th. Out on the track right now. You can see those long shadows here in Belgium. Let's see who's sitting at the top of our qualifying right now. Well, it's no surprise to see Errol Num. sitting up there with a 2:45.8. It's 3 laps of lone qualifying, so he has the track to himself. It's one of the little something that's unique to iRacing is that everybody can put in their qualifying lap by themselves all at the same time, but our director gets to cut back and forth to each one of them. Sitting second, Bastian Hausmann, he's got his laps in already. Maybe we take a look at the purple and black Mama Jean car of Tuan Tran. There's Bastian Hausmann, actually. Our director's on his teammate. I didn't think Bastian was out there. And now we are on Tuan Tran. There we go. That's who we thought. Move stuff over so I can see what's going on. Look at that. You can tell the coming at you, those long straightaways. Another newcomer that is impressive to watch. Well, he just pulled it in is Ricardo Margarita, sitting in about 6th position right now. Everybody getting their qualifying times in. Tuan Tran not having the season he would have hoped for. He is a season 6 champion, sitting well down the points right now. There's a newcomer, Darren Kuhn. Darren currently well back in the order, 42nd position. Dawson, it really is a testament to how healthy this series is that here we are 3 races in, we're moving along. There's only 7 races all season long. You don't have much championship hopes, but look at the size of the field. They always put in good grids here in the ABL.
Yeah, and it's a testament to just good racing, and I think anybody can really jump in here and you'll find a guy that you're going to be competitive with, and that's a nice thing in a good iRacing series is you want to be able to get in and have somebody who's around your speed. And when you have 43, 44 guys taking the green, there's always going to be somebody you can race against, and it makes it a little less boring. So I think it's a good thing that the ABL has going for them.
We can see a few drivers still trying to put in their final laps, but with a large field and a standing start, let's go to the grid right now. I think we're pretty secure on these. I'll take the first 10, Dawson. Aeronum, Bastian Hausmann fill up the first row. David Third Degree Burns and Tuan Tran go 3 and 4. Behind them is Jefferson Padovani and Ricardo Margarito. Row 4 is Jonathan Vandevelde, the fan pelt, sitting inside of Vincent Bream. Rounding out row 5, Flores Bashar, Hugo Hernandez Gutierrez, who's in 11th.
Liam Quinn currently sits in 11th. Outside of him, Ludwig Sawyer, Steven Larcamp in 13th, and Joachim Lundgren. Oh, man.
Lundgren.
Lundgren? Okay.
I'll help you. Welcome to the series. Yeah. There's a lot of these.
Yeah, holy cow. Henrik Kamara in 15th, Luke Trolals in 16th, Nico Roman 17th, and Mikael Rugbrink in 18th. João Valverde 19th, and Rob Adams in 20th.
I feel for you, buddy. I've been there. Let's go to the blackjack spot. As Neil Bamber is going to be inside Thomas Kick in the double duck spot, our spotlighted driver. Alex DeCampo and Frederick Neptune go 23 and 24. Josh Pinky and the Brain sit at 25th. Christopher Hancock behind him. Adam Bradshaw, Leo Miranda in 28th. Andy Bonar and Jeremy Berros in 30th. You get the last group there, Dawson.
Kevin Mills going to start 31st, and Scott Weinstein in 32nd. Paul Pretro in 33rd. Patrick Hinkston 34th. Michael Bittman 35th. Andy Moore 36th. Tiago Perez 37th. Timothy Roman 38th. Edgar Chanelli 39th. And rounding out the top 40, Tony Matthews.
Didier Smith, Robert Pritkin, Jacob Lundgren, Darren Kuhn, Andy Tegelar, Mikael Hofland-Dazen, Stefan Novus, Troy Goatley, Reno Tranny, Mark Krodrowski, my goodness, and the last one out there, Salim Hodges. 51 names, 45 drivers put in qualifying times. Welcome to round number 4 of the Absolute Beginners Formula Neagle here at Spa. Our points champion sits on front right now, Errol Num. He has 4 championships already. His trophy case is getting full, but he looks to make a little more room up there for a 5th one. If he can bring it home, he has a comfortable points lead right now. Bastian Hausman sits 2nd in points and 2nd on the grid. Will look to tuck in behind. David Third Degree Burns always fast, sitting in 3rd. Single-time champion Tuan Tran, he won a way back in Season 6. He's been close. Almost got one until an internet connection cost him a championship a few seasons ago. A couple rookies, Jefferson Padovani and Ricardo Margarita, sit 5th and 6th. A lot of conversations going on right now. But right now you can hear the engine start to harmonize as we get ready to go green. Gather at the chicken steak cover behind the cows because the horses are out of the barn. And Errol Num leads the Stampede down into the very first corner, La Source. Let's hope that we can get all 51 drivers through. So far, the top 5 are through. The big pack works its way through 2 by 2. They go 3 wide back. Everybody checking up. It is a parking lot, a little bit of bumping and banging. For the most part, everybody makes it around. And it is indeed the rolling Estonian out in front, followed by Bastian Hausman, David Third Degree Burns, Tuan Tran, and Jefferson Padovani rounding out the top 5. But Dawson, look at the train from 6th back.
Wow, everybody single filing out here. Everybody made it through a Rouge. It looks like we're clean so far throughout the entire field. Very impressive. Oh!
Some bumping and banging going on back there. We'll come back and get it. It looks like Larkamp might have been involved in that one as he got turned by Trolls. Meanwhile, up in front, we're still clean. There they are coming at you. It is Errol Num. Let me get the, oh, looks like, do we have, there we go. Let's see. And Burns is now our leader. While all that was going on, David Third Degree Burns was able to make the pass. He's out in front. And not surprisingly, Errol Num has dropped back to 4th. Dawson, I know you're new to this series, but that's kind of the modus operandi for Num. If he can't pull away, then he'd rather just be the caboose in the train.
Yeah, and I don't think that's a bad strategy at all. You kind of get to see what other guys are doing, and you kind of pace yourself. You don't want to be out in front and try and push it too hard and maybe end up wrecking it. You know, if you can just kind of keep it steady for the first stop, you can get a good idea on what these guys are all about.
They run around. Let's quickly look at 5th position if we can. This is a battle. This is Gutierrez being hounded by the fan belt, Johan Vanderbilt, all over him for 5th. This is important as those guys begin to fall off the lead train. Then it's almost 2 seconds from 4th back to 5th. They got to get going. And the fan belt trying to find his way around a guy who's making that car as wide as a Julie Roberts mile. That's Gutierrez, but here comes Vanderbilt now as they are side by side as they head down into Blanchimont. This is full throttle here for these skippies. Making a huge hole and trying to come. This is Padovani now. It's going to try to squeeze through. There's no room to go there. Padovani looking for any way around. Great racing back here for 5th. Padovani's going to have to back out of it, and that opens the door now for Bream to get into the mix. As they go into the bus stop for the first time.
Ooh, we got contact now. Farther back, Nico Roman spun around. Trouble in the bus stop.
Yeah, some bumping and banging. Josh Brain got into it. Oh, it was Miranda got tied up. In fact, they are really kick. Oh, our spotlighted driver, Thomas Kick. That's a tough one. Let's see if we can maybe, this is, since he is our spotlighted driver, maybe we can look at this one. It was in the bus stop. And you can see that it's actually a little bit of a, looked like the cars were getting very friendly here. As we stay on Kick, he'll actually get put on top of another car, or in between. There you have it. I believe Thomas's day is done. You're going to save a lot of energy bills with the spotlight not having to be very bright today. Let's go up to 2nd position as we have 2 purple and black machines of Mama Jean Racing. Tuan Tran is now moving up into 2nd position. Hausman back in 3rd, all behind Burns. And again, Errol Num just watching the show, 2.3 seconds ahead of the guys who are coming in 4th, Vincent Bream.
David Burns, he put down a great practice time of a 44.7. That was fastest out of all the cars by about 5/10. So right now, running out in front of these guys, he's going to be the car to beat.
Those top 4 guys, now those are all veteran drivers, and while it looks exciting, it's almost more of a agreed upon dance going on right now. I would not be surprised how long Burns is happy to stay out in front, as he is, pardon the pun, burning the most fuel right now. He would probably like somebody else to do a little bit of the work. Let's take a quick look at Gutierrez. Maybe we can get it on replay. He was racing in 5th position. Went a little bit wide, as I talked about it. Vanderbilt, remember we're looking at that battle. Vanderbilt takes the spot. Gutierrez actually falls all the way back into 8th position now. It was just about when I talked about it, Director. It wasn't that long, so it's not that important, though. He just had an off. He was able to hang in. We'll see if our Director has it. This goes to show you, though, how quickly things can go bad. There you see him going wide. Gets the car gathered back up. Joe Peak doing a good job on that replay button. Nice work from our Director.
Probably one of the biggest things here. You know, Spa, you can run wide in a lot of corners and you can gain some time, but iRacing has the new function of you have to give that time back, and that's not really what you'd be concerned about today. I'd say the 24 incidents that you have to limit, you're going to be going at least 24 laps, so if you get an incident per lap, you're going to be sitting in a little bit of trouble. You need to limit your incidents and keep it clean.
You can see the top 4 drivers working through the bus stop right now. Then they're followed by the next group of guys that goes all the way back. We talked about Gutierrez in 8th. You can see him coming at you. I love that camera angle. Why don't we talk about the guys that are 2x2 a little farther back? That's Floris Bashar going to make a move with Hendrik Camara. Bashar out in front. He's going to be first to the bus stop, or first to the La Source. He gets in there. That's 9th position for Bashar. Camara in 10th. Liam Quinn having a great series right now. A great season racing in 11th position. And how about there's we ride on board with Camara, looking ahead at Bashar through this scary section through here. Dawson, I must confess that I have not been on this track in this car combination. Is it full throttle for you through Eau Rouge there on these little skippies, or did you have to lift?
Well, when I was alone, it was definitely full throttle, and the car actually did a great job of getting up the big hill, but as you saw there, Camara just using the slipstream, that's pretty powerful, and I would say that, yeah, you're full speed all the way through there, and maybe if you're in aero wash, I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure looking at what Camara just did, yeah, you're definitely full throttle.
Like to have our apologies to the viewers. Our frame rate is a little bit choppy right now. We hope that clears up. That's something that's kind of out of our control as we look at this battle for 9th from Camara. Oh, it's up in front of him. That was Padavani. I think he got turned by Vanderbilt. That's probably worth a replay. Let's make sure we identify them correctly, but yep, that was Vanderbilt behind him. Now, I'm not going to make the judge. Oh, this is a great view that our Director has found from top. Let's see how this plays out. Boy, the car is there, and guess he just wasn't going fast enough. Oh, and also then collected in that was well, that was not. That was Padavani.
That was Vincent Brem.
Vincent Brem. Ah.
Yep. And he looks like he has a lot of damage to the front of that car. He had to take a tow.
Well, there's always 2 sides of that story, but the story that I just saw there looked pretty ugly by the trailing car. Now we look at these 4 guys again. Are we going to have a pass for the lead if we use that term loosely? It's going to be somebody else who's going to decide to get up there in front right now. Nope, still going to be Burns. It looks like Hausman is going to decide to race in second. Burns racing for 2 Stupid Dogs, DBR, one of the DBR entries. A pair of Mama Jean cars behind him, of those purple and black, or black and purple, depending on how you look at it. And then, of course, Bushfink Pink, Aero Numb. They come at you. Now the driver all in 5th position, racing all by himself, mostly from his own doing, is Johan Vanderbilt. Joaquin Lundgren coming over and giving apologies to somebody. Oh, let's go to Jacob Lundgren, maybe. This is Nico Roman. When did this happen? This is... Oh, it's a big one. I hope we can find it. Involved Nico Roman. Oh, Mikael Hoffland isn't involved in this one. Joaquin Lundgren involved. A big pileup in the bus stop. We found it. This is a mess.
You already
There.
look. We have. Wow.
And then they kept coming in. It's not over yet. Here they come. Cornerman waving the yellow flag for all it's worth, but they're just ignoring them. They keep coming.
It's almost like a blind corner there.
Now it's done.
Look, we already have quite a few cars out, actually. 36 on the lead lap, 35. Got a couple more in the pits still, so that number will keep updating as we go on.
Back to our leaders, have to check in on them. Remember, this is big boy racing here in the Absolute Beginner Formula Neagle. You break it, you bought it. No fast repairs. Now, fortunately, a lot of those incidents happen right in the bus stop. They might be able to lift their skippies into pit lane, probably in the pit window, get whatever repairs are done, and then go back out and have a little more racing. How about let's go right now to Mikkel Rugenbrink. Oh my goodness, he spins it, and then he is collected by, I guess that was Rob Adams. Let's see if we can find this one. There's Rugenbrink as our director's looking for it. Now, I'm not sure what got Rugenbrink all sideways. When I got to it, he was sideways, and then Rob Adams, oh, he does it all by himself. And then here comes Adams with nowhere to go.
Ooh.
Boy, so far, Burns, Hausman, Tran, and Numb have been very quiet, but that has not been the case for the rest of the field, which is attrition playing a huge part. So with all that attrition going on, who is our hard charge? And we're hearing no more from. We hear more conversation by another buddy giving an apologies. Let's go to Vanderbilt again. Oh, this is Vanderbilt who just got into it with Kevin Mills. This is a lapped car. Vanderbilt was racing in 5th position. Coming around Kevin Mills. And again, I guess I think this was the.
Yep.
There we go.
The chicane.
Yeah, it was the chicane. Look at that. That's Vanderbilt. Oh, my goodness. Not sure where Mills was supposed to put that car, but Vanderbilt doing his best to try to catch up to the Ford leader, so that just makes the gap even bigger now from Numb back to now Gutierrez, I guess, in 5th.
You see these 4 leaders all still in a really tight pack, and that kind of hurts guys like Gutierrez and Quinn looking to catch them. They all have their own little pack that they can, down them straightaways, get a nice draft, and it gives them a boost, and it's definitely an advantage.
Yeah, Dawson, you found a good one. 5th position, Liam Quinn. They were side by side with Gutierrez going down into well, I guess they're in Malmedy right now. They were on their way to Lacombe. Here they come again. We look here at, that's Gutierrez. Oh, they were looking at our leaders. There's Burns. Let's go back and look at 5th position if we can, Director, if we're able to do that one. There we see Quinn and Gutierrez. These guys racing a nice 2-car battle. Dawson, they are quite a ways back to about 7 seconds to 4th place.
Yeah, and I think the more that they get side by side, they're just going to keep slowing each other down. As we see Gutierrez going to go for a pass here, maybe they get side by side. But Quentin just going to put the power down and beat him into the turn.
Quinn, of course, a veteran of the series. Gutierrez, a relative newcomer. As look at they continue to race. They continue side by side. Now Quinn has the, now Gutierrez with the advantage. Who's going to get this one sorted out? That's Gutierrez now.
Now we're behind him, Bashar.
Yeah, here he comes. All that horseplay. That's Gutierrez.
Split the middle.
Here he comes through. We've seen this a lot. This is not unusual here in the Formula Neagle. That's a common move. As Bashar knows,
contact.
Get together, and he keeps it going straight, Dawson. That was Gutierrez.
Here we go. They're going to come into the chicane this time and hopefully get it all sorted out.
Saying, I've had enough of this, pulling off, taking his pit stop, is the veteran Liam Quinn. Let me out of here. We're going to ride on board for all of that excitement. Riding on board with Gutierrez, sawing on the wheel. Keeps the car going straight. These little skippies are pretty tough. That car's probably going to be okay.
Yeah, but you can see just in front of me, they had a little bit of wing damage.
Oh, there's Gutierrez just as we come back live. And that was contact made when he got into it with Bashar. And they both take each other out. Or look at it from the top. They bang once. That wasn't enough. You hit me. I hit you. And they both, one spins left, one spins right. Kamara that snuck through. And Kamara now racing in 5th. That was a big pack, but little by little, they're all dropping out. The fan belt was in there. Now we lose Gutierrez and Bashar. Remember, that was the same fight that was going on with Quinn, who got out of it. Let's go to Liam Quinn right now. He's in 19th position, out of the frying pan into the fire, as he's in a battle with some cars who have yet to stop. That's Mark Kudrowski in front. Quinn now trying to get around. He's going to be faster. Remember, he's made a stop. Diego Pyers behind him. Quinn in the middle. Liam should be the leaders of all the cars who have been. Oh no! Kudrowski able to keep it going straight, but he's off. Quinn has picked up the nickname Mr. Excitement, and he's living up to it today.
Well, he tried to avoid some of the excitement with Gutierrez, and he just unfortunately finds it now with Kudrowski and the guys.
As we look at Liam Quinn, he is having a great season, sitting well up in the points, and again, still looking for that first career win. I believe 47 career starts under his belt.
Just behind Kudrowski, Thomas Quick is back out on the track. He was involved in an incident earlier, and he looks like he's fine.
You know what? Let's make hay while the sun shines, correct? Let's go ahead and bring up our spotlighted graphic here, and we'll talk a little bit. There we see Thomas Quick, the Strudelmeister. That flag you see up there, black, red, and yellow. Of course, that's Germany. He's got 25 starts under his belt. That's his 18th overall. How about 510 career laps? That's 22nd. Now, his best result was back in season 9. That was a ninth place finish right here at Spa. Don't think he's going to be able to mirror that one. And then in the ever-going question of pizza versus burger, well, he's from Germany. It's got to be the burger. So, there you have it, our spotlight effect. Oh, but of course, if he had his choice, he would say strudel. Really not an option. We're not allowing write-in votes here, boys and girls. This could get ugly. Liam Quinn, our spotlighted driver. I'm sorry, Thomas Quick, our spotlighted driver. Currently racing in, what position would he be? 19th overall. Good catch on that one, Dustin, or that he brought that car back out. And there we go. There's $1 in the jar for a Dustin Dawson combination mix there. Oh, looking at some excitement there. Kudrowski has had some issues. That one was all by himself. Boy, he did that right in front of our spotlighted driver, Thomas Quick. Brings the car back out onto the track. Right on board with Kudrowski. Dawson, sometimes these cars get away from you. You can't quite get them back.
Yeah, just a little bit, gets a little bit unhappy, and it's really hard to save, especially in a Rouge, a very high-speed corner with a lot of different angles. Tough break.
Very nice the way that Kudrowski pinned-wheeled his car so that our onboard camera kind of panned right at Thomas Quick going by. If you're going to spin your car around, at least you can do it artistically. Thank you for that one. Mark, always trying to make a good broadcast. Let's check in on our leaders. What's going on up there? 1, 2, 3, 4. Who's decided to be our leader right now? Well, it is Sebastian Hausman, but that could end. David Third Degree Burns. Hausman makes that pass. Burns dropping back into second. They put a little bit of gap between them and Tuan Tran. Nothing for Tran to worry about. Aeronum back there once again, just watching everything happen. Lifting, saving fuel. When will they make their stops?
Do you know about how long they can go on a tank of fuel?
Yeah, I would think we'd be looking at around 43 to 44 minutes, really close to well, what are we doing? We're going 70 here today. Let me correct myself, about halfway. So would that be about 33 to 34 minutes, I would think.
Okay.
With 50 to go, we'll know if they can. We might see some of these guys try to get to the halfway mark.
I wonder if that kind of plays into Aero Num's strategy, just to sit back there. You have plenty of draft, and I'm sure he's got a little extra fuel that might play into his favor.
And here's the little choreography move here by David Burns as they go down into Lacombe. We can stay on this a little bit, watch our leaders go through. This is corner number 5. This right-hander then through 6. Malmedy into 7. Now they head down into Rivage. This is the tough one for me. I'm telling Challenge, you have to, I end up getting on the throttle too soon here. You got to wait before you can get it going. Down into 9 to start down the hill. Cars will get up to top speed here, and the nice thing is they go through Puhan, lots of runoff area. The Ford drivers again racing in position, moving a little bit out to the outside. There is the purple and black car of Hausman. Now down into this rhythm corner, so 12 and 13. These are fun. Back on the throttle for a pair of right-handers. That'll set you down to the long straight towards the bus stop.
Let's see right here if maybe Heisman can get a run on Burns. There you go, side by side, and Heisman gonna get a really big run.
And then this is what our director, when he's announcing, Joe Peak likes us, a little reconnaissance racing here, just feeling out what we can do later on when this becomes more important. Now watch out of here as we come out of the bus stop. There is enough time. If you go 2x2 through the bus stop, when you get to the start-finish line, which they've already gone by, there's enough time to have a change in position between the start-finish line and the bus stop. Now they head down our leaders one more time to do another lap. Going into La Source. I would be very, very surprised if anything sad happens to any of those Ford drivers right now. They're just putting in the miles.
They seem to be.
Let's go back and look at what used to be an exciting battle for 5th position. He is kind of the, well, this is not going to make a lot of sense to all the Europeans, but the last of the Mohicans here, as everyone has left him. Hendrik Kamara racing all by himself in 5th position. Maybe we'll run through the field a little bit here. Dawson, who's in 6th right now? Are you able to take a look back there, see who you got?
We got Jefferson Padovani. He's so far pretty all alone. He's got Frederick Neptune right behind him. Just a small gap, but...
Now, let's look at Frederick Neptune. This has big team ramifications. We mentioned his name earlier in the countdown to green. He has teamed up with the Roland Estonian Aero Num for Bush Fink Pink. Neptune, in fact, Neptune probably listening to the broadcast right now, trying to get another point. This will be some extra points for Bush Fink Pink. This is a great run from Neptune. Inside the... Oh, no!
The commentator's curse.
He orbits that thing right into the wall. He's staying off of it. Oh. For those of you who still have encyclopedias at your home, look up Commentator's Curse. You'll see a picture of that. Riding on board with Frederick. Now, and boy, had his wheels in the dirt, then he tried to, it was too late. He had that thing cranked over all the way. And it looked like from that angle, looked like he did get a pretty good shot of the wall. So Neptune now falls down several positions. Racing in 10th. Still a good points day for Frederick. Let's drop back to, I'm sorry, it was well, let's look at this battle for position. 29th, even though these guys are a lap down. This is Goatley. He's a new name to us. And Stefan Noobs, he's a Noobs. And right behind him in 11th, this is Paulo Prado. Prado looking to get those cars out of the way. Prado has yet to make his stop.
I know we talked about this earlier. No drop weeks, so every point matters.
Yep.
All these guys out here, you got to make sure you can gain 2 or 3 spots. It's always going to be a big deal.
We stay on that battle a little bit as the faster car still trying to find his way through. There, we get it worked out, I think. They continue to race. Oh! Looking at Goatley now as that has finally been figured out. Prado making his way through those drivers. No, I apologize. He's still... Well, now he's coming up. Now he's working on Noobs. We'll stay on this a bit. We'll see if Prado can get around. Pretty good pace from Noobs and Goatley. All right, that seems to calm down a little bit. Let's look at the driver who's leading all the cars who've pitted. Currently racing a 17th position, João Valvaldi. Now, João is back there. He did a stop, 14 seconds in the box. Valverde racing in front of Jacob Younger, but Younger has yet to stop. 16 drivers in front of him. None of them have stopped yet.
So do you think pitting early, is that going to give these guys an advantage, or time-wise? Are they going to be able to cycle out in front of the leaders?
I don't know if running by yourself. Yeah, I'm sure if our director has found a great battle. This is for 15th. Kuhn on the inside, Kick on the outside, and our spotlighter driver is going to get that position. It looks like Kuhn just kind of surrendered that. Yeah, I'm not sure racing alone is really the way to do it. First of all, you burn in more fuel. You'll have a longer pit stop when you come in. What ends up happening is the leapfrog. If you want to gain time, you pass them once or twice going down the straights. Even our leaders aren't doing that so much. As I say that, let's go ahead. We have a pass for the lead. Hausman being challenged by... Oh! Look who's decided to lead now. It's the Roland Estonia decided... I guess it's my turn to get up front, do a little work. This could also... Oh my goodness, probably not the best time to do it. I bet... Oh, look at Pritkin does a good job letting all 4 drivers go by. I would not be surprised if Num is not going to bring it into the pits here. No, sometimes he likes to do that. He likes to get to the lead so he can be first to the box. Num, Hausman, Burns, and Tran now, as they have decided that will be the racing order.
I bet you if we look at the next lap, that'll all change again.
Pitting in this lap from Miguel Hoflandaisen. Hoflandaisen has had some issues, not having the race he would like for AM Racing. Okay, from 5th position, Hendrik Camara has come in. Now, I'm not sure where Valverde is. Let's see if we can find Valverde. Boy, Valverde is stuck behind Darren Kuhn and Kick. Valverde is the driver who has is leading the cars who have pitted. He works to the inside of Kuhn. Kick decides to bring it in for a stop. Valverde now heading down to the start-finish line. We have lots of drivers coming in. Is he going to get out in front of Camara? Camara is rolling. And Valverde is going to... Oh, this is going to be interesting. Valverde just going through La Source. Camara is... Can he get the car up to full speed? I believe Camara is going to come out ahead of Valvarley. That'll be the leaders of all the cars who have pitted. They pit with 40 minutes of racing left. If they can go another 5 minutes, another 2 laps, maybe they can one-stop it. Our director now back up to the front. Dawson leading. It's this time it's Hausman.
Got about 2 laps. It'll be interesting to see if any of the leaders decide to go this time, or if they all agree maybe to stick in a pack and all pit at once.
Keep in mind that Errol Num was the fastest of all the qualifiers. One of the things the drivers like to do, if the pole sitter comes in, a lot of times it's follow the leader, because he might be able to run a faster out lap all by himself. Num now making the move. And here we go, coming through the middle. This is Tuan Tran. Oh my goodness, they've raced together a long time. That's no big deal for them, only for the commentators. All right, they're coming to the bus stop. What do you think, Dawson? Pit stops? All 4 of them? I say yes.
Well, we'll see. Ooh, we have
1, 2,
3
3
takers.
Oh, I question this. They leave the pole sitter to race all by himself. All right, well, if the Rolling Estonian has a hot lap in him, he'd like it now.
Yeah, and I think that goes back to his strategy from earlier. He has a little extra fuel. He can probably make it another lap, but this could really hurt him if he doesn't get a better lap than the guys who have pit. Jefferson Padovani going to bring it in the pits. He's been having a pretty good race. He started 5th.
He has indeed. In fact, if we can see how he's rolling now, if we can see, you know, he's going to get out in front of Camara is still yet to get to the bus stop. Oh, Padovani just getting to his box right now. I would expect that Camara gets around. Camara is around. I believe he's going to continue to lead all the cars who've pitted. Well, of course, Tuan Tran and those guys are in and out. So how did the leaders come out? How did they fare? Tuan Tran is out in front by about 2 seconds on Burns. Burns and Hausman come out together. Tran with a really fast stop. Honestly, when I look at the numbers, Tran's numbers aren't that much different than Burns and Hausman. Nevertheless, he's picked himself up a 1.8 second lead. Yeah, even the cone to cones were good, but it might have just been before the cones, just getting it woed up in time, getting on the throttle. Meanwhile, Errol Num is out there racing with 37.5 minutes to go.
I wonder, I know we think just 1 lap. I would be shocked if he stays out this time. He's safe enough. I would doubt it. You said if he can stay out 1 more, he'd be set up to maybe make a 1 stop.
Steal the show. He is the last car to pit. Of course, he spent most of the race sitting back in 4th position, lifting, saving fuel. What it does lead up to is a very quick splash and go 1 more stop, assuming that the Roland Estonian comes this time. Let's stay on him as he heads down to the bus stop. He'll make the right, and then instead of turning left, he'll just go straight into pit lane, and that's what he does. Now, this is the Grand Prix configuration, which means the exit out of pit lane is right after La Source. You don't have to go all the way down, almost to Eau Rouge, before you come back out on the track. So as he comes in, let's go ahead and see where is Tuan Tran. Tran right now just going through Boschemont. Heading to the bus stop now. Again, that lead was once 1.9 seconds and now 1.7 seconds.
Tuan didn't have much aerodynamic help, so I think Num should be okay to
well, Num is rolling,
move
yeah.
out right. Yeah.
Num, boy, to be fast on track and fast in the pits. Now, don't be fooled though. His stop, Errol Num. He is always tries to do things differently. His stop 9 seconds faster than anybody else. Errol says, if I need another stop, there's no reason that I have to take a full load of fuel. Let me put in a half tank. I'll be out all by myself. I will run some faster laps. First of all, my car will be lighter than yours. Yes, I will have to come in and take a longer stop in the future while you guys only have to do a splash and go. But I'm out here all by myself. You can't hang on to my coattails. My car's lighter. I'm faster. See you later, guys.
I really like that strategy. That's pretty good.
Yeah. Well, let's give you the interval then. It is right now, boys and girls, if you're watching at home, mark this on your clipboards. 10.7 seconds at the halfway mark. We'll see if Num can up that. I would expect that he can. To give you an interval, Num did a 45.8 as his qualifying lap. The man who's chasing him, Tran, did a 45.9, so the times are relatively close. But Num's car is half as heavy when it comes to fuel. So we now look at the driver in second, Tuan Tran.
We talked about Kamara and Valverde coming out really well. They're actually right next to each other right now. Kamara getting the car a little sideways there.
This is a nice battle. This is Valverde looking for a way around. Valverde has some good momentum. Tough place to get it done here, but he has the preferred line and he's going to get it done. Now watch the momentum from Kamara. If he can get him back, not going to happen. So let's move Valverde up to 5th for now. Kamara in 6th. Looking at a nice battle for 15th here. A man we haven't talked much about, Dawson. This is Michael Bittman.
Michael actually might be one of your big movers right behind Darren Kuhn. He started 35th and he's all the way up to 17th.
Well, let's go ahead and see how that plays out for Bittman, actually. Boy, we do have, you would think usually that would get you on the hard charger war, but not today. That's currently going to go to Mikkel Hoflandaisen, who's racing in 12th. All by himself. Hoflandaisen started in 46, was not able to put in a qualifying time. Yeah, his car having some unique aerodynamic adjustments. And Hoflandaisen actually might be on also there still might be 2 stops left in his future. Here we go. Let's see. He's going to be gobbled up. Here comes Diego Pierce. Pierce gets... Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just about to say that maybe his damage doesn't make much of an effect, but we just saw how fast Pierce came up on him, so yeah, definitely going to be an effect.
But Pierce does not have a very good exit out of the bus stop. Hoflandaisen fighting back for all it's worth. Let's stay on this a bit. I think you'll really see the straight line speed of Hoflandaisen cost them once they come around La Source. I believe this is going to be see you later, boy, like you're a skater, boy. Let's see if this happens here. Is Pierce in 12th? Maybe Hoflandaisen can stay in the tow. Ha ha! Miguel says, Soup, what are you talking about? They continue to, I think that Miguel's going to be able to make this pass. Going into La Source. Here he comes. Call me a skater boy, will you? As he comes up on the inside. Cialis bathtubs down into La Source. It's going to be a game of chicken. Who's going to break later? And he's back. Got that position back.
Well, how about that?
Ooh, and a little bit of blinking going on from Pierce as well. So up to 12th. That's how you become a hard charger. Oh boy, you can see the internet connections that are having there from Pierce as Hoflandaisen going to give him that spot.
Well, I tell you what, there's a lot of different areas of the world being represented here. We have the UK, Brazil, Canada. We have some people from the US. It's all over, so
it is.
You'll have internet problems.
Yeah. Adam and I have talked about it before. It is the perfect time slot for global participation. Being Sunday night in Europe, Sunday morning and afternoon in the Americas. Now, if you look up front, Tran has been ran down by Bastian Hausmann, his teammate, and Burns, unfortunately. If you guys remember, if you're looking on your clipboard, 5 minutes ago, that interval was 10.7 seconds to Errol Numb. Now it's 11.9. The Roland Estonian doing just that, rolling away with this win so far. But remember, he's got to come in, and his pit stop will be considerably longer than these other guys are going to take a splash and go.
These three, I mean, the ideal situation would be for them to work together and not race too hard against each other. As we see Hausmann going to make a move and get to the front. Now, just don't go side by side through the turns. That's what's going to kill you.
Right, Dawson is right on it. What you will see is a synchronized choreography here where they'll pass, they'll make an easy pass down the straight. They will gain 2 or 3 car lengths each time they do it down the straight line. In fact, you can even get some run. It can even be a 3-car dance with the driver in third getting a great run and being able to slingshot both of the guys. If they get their footwork down, they can save a lot of time.
I mean, even for Barnes, if he would just let the two teammates flip-flop each other time, he could save a lot of fuel lifting and maybe make that second stop a lot quicker.
We'll stay on it now as they head towards corner number 12. Ooh, getting a little bit loose up in front there is Hausmann. Meanwhile, can we see if we can go back about 15 seconds to Scott Whiteline, sorry. It's Whitestein. Let me get that right. He made a little bit of contact with Dieter Smith. These guys were racing. This was right in the bus stop. Not the most major thing that you want to see happen, but Whitestein was having a good race. Here we have the car gets loose. And loose again. And a little bit of contact there. Oh. Dustin, that car doesn't seem to be going in a straight line.
No, and if what I'm seeing is correct, he's on pit road. Oh, there is my iRacing telling me something different.
I think you're right. I think that was the replay. I think he's decided to bring it in. Yeah, the car was.
Yep.
The car was crabbing. So another driver that was having a good run out of the race. We've talked about the leader. We've talked about the drivers running second, third, and fourth, and their little dance that they want to do. How about we check in on the one you've been watching, Dawson, is João Valverde and Henrik Kamara.
Yeah, it seemed.
Oh. And they're going to come in at the same time. Well, if you have to take a splash and go, you can take it whenever you like. You can splash me now, you can splash me later. And they're going to take their splash now. The difficulty was this is they need to calculate to have enough fuel to go 26 minutes of racing. If you take your splash and go at the very end, you only need to have enough to go 3 minutes of racing. Maybe calculation's a little easier. But Dawson, with all the software now and sophistication with SimRacing, those numbers are pretty, they can get those pretty precise.
Yeah, I think the only thing that you would have to that you can't calculate in is where you're going to come out and who's going to be with you. But these two, they pitted right next to each other, so they should be okay.
Well, that's a good point. They have to calculate fuel depending on where they come out, and right now it looks like Kamara's going to get out well in front. Where did he go? Valverde. Oh, Valverde with the jump. He comes out in 10th. Yeah, they've made about 2 seconds. So of all the cars now, the first car to make 2 stops that I see out there, I'm looking at Edgar Sanchinelli. Maybe we can take a peek at him. I'm not sure if this is legitimate or not for Sancinelli. He's a lap down. Now, 2 stops. Yeah, we're seeing 2 stops for Sancinelli, which means he should be good to go from here. And I'm looking to see if he's the leader of all the cars that have done 2 stops. Oh, wait a minute. Hang on a minute. Let me get my timing. There we go. It is Valverde. I have my timing and scoring based on positions gained and not as actual racing positions.
Sancinelli took a stop, it looks like on lap 2 for damage, so he's going to have to make another stop.
Yeah, I was off board on that one. Compared those times between Valverde, though, Valverde's last stop was 16.9 in the box, 18.9 for Camara. Well, that pretty much is why they are 2 seconds apart. Okay, Errol Num is in the pits. This will be a long one. Tran, I think, is going by. Let's see if Num... Yes, Tran and those guys have gone by now. Tran is your new leader. Hausman is second. Burns is third. We expect Num's stop to be somewhere about 9 seconds. Oh, longer than I would have thought. He had an 18-second stop. That was almost, boy, I don't know. That seemed like a lot of fuel to take there. We'll see. Something is rotten in Denmark, or in this case, Estonia. Close enough for Shakespeare. That pit stop way longer than it should have been for Errol Num, who now races in 4th position. Tuan Tran is your leader. No, well, I guess it's Bastian Hausman right now. 23 seconds, the interval from Num back to, from Tran to Burn, let me get this straight, from Tran back to Num. Let's look at this, Dawson, this battle for 6 here. We haven't heard much about these. Timothy Roman and Josh Brain.
And it looks like Roman's just going to have a little bit of an edge right now, Brain. Just losing a little bit of time here.
Roman with a great move through the field, up 32 spots. He qualified in 38th. Remember, both these drivers have made only 1 stop. They have that splash and go left.
You can see that front, I guess would you call it a wing or a splitter? I'm not sure, but it's a little bit bent up on Roman's card. But he looks to be putting in fairly decent laps, so it shouldn't be affecting him too much.
And maybe our director, Joe Peak, can actually correct me on this one as well. But for me, I think the rear wing, damage to the rear wing probably hurts you more than front wing damage here. As these, this front wings on the Skippy, almost as much for almost as decorative. They get you a little bit down there, but there's not a ton of downforce generated from those front wings. In fact, if I had my choice, I'd rather race without them than one bent. We look at our leaders, Hausman, Burns, and Tran. And again, for most races, Dawson, we would, with a race for the lead so close, we'd be focusing on it, but honestly, it's very, very well organized up there right now with 21 minutes to go and still a pit stop in all these cars' future.
You look, Errol Num, 23 seconds back, so that's going to be the gap that he's going to have to close while they're on pit road.
And I'm expecting a really, really short stop from these guys when it happens. We'll see. Keep in mind that maybe the guy in the best position is Burns, who has really been sitting back there in behind for most of this fuel stint. Probably saving the most fuel. Let's check in on a few of the drivers we've talked about so far in the race, see where they are right now.
Heisman sideways. It's going to straighten it out, though. Sorry for cutting in.
David Burns comes in his... I wish I could get the audio in here in his classic English accent. Well, that woke us all up, Mick. This Hausman got loose right in front of Burns. Dawson, that just shows you how quickly your plans can go south on you.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go ahead.
Oh yeah, no, it's fine. Go.
Let's talk about some of the drivers that have done their second stop that are ready to go. Let's check in on Camara and Valverde. Camara racing in 10th. Look at that. Valverde has got up there. They work around the lap car of Guilherme Barros. Gets out of the way. This has been a fun battle between these two guys. Now, this is 10th, but they're going to be a little farther up once some of the drivers in front of them, Prado, Bonar, Roman, Brain, Padovani, all make their stop. And again, once those drivers got together, I think they're just putting in laps. They'll decide it. My guess would be into the bus stop on the white flag lap.
Jefferson Padovani, he currently sits 5th. He has taken 2 stops. So he's also in a good position to get a nice finish today.
Yeah, our director's timing and scoring not showing that differently than mine. I only have them for one, but I'll go with Joe Peak. Padovani out there racing in 5th. That's where he started. Still waiting for our leaders to come in. Why don't we find Frederick Neptune? Oh, let's stay on this. Let's see if this is actually going to do anything. Just a little bit of dancing there. Tran out in front. If you want to distinguish those two cars, Tran's car is purple and black. Hausman's car is black and purple. Unless they're going away from you, then it's the exact opposite. Both those cars. Oh, probably the easier way because might be for the rims there. Yellow and orange rims. Yellow rims for Tran, orange rims for Hausman. And of course, the Too Stupid Dog machine back there of David Third Degree Burns. We talked about the Roland Estonian. Let's find out how his partner Frederick Neptune is doing, racing in 18th position, all by himself. Neptune has made, I think, all of his stops. In fact, I'm showing him with 3, so he should certainly be good to go from here. Maybe highlight some of these drivers in the back we haven't talked about. Let's check in on if we can find another battle out there. Not a lot to look at. Let's go back up to Valverde and Camara. Dawson, kind of the calm before the storm here. Everybody just waiting to get that final stop in, and then they'll go racing for real.
Come on, I'm going to get a little loose. It's going to stick through it, though. Yeah, I would say about 15 minutes left here in the race. Just getting right before crunch time.
20 drivers still on the lead lap. Looks like 27 cars still out racing right now. The last one being Patrick Hinston in 27th, 4 laps down. Right on board with Valverde.
It looked like he was going to peek out there for a little bit, but no, he's pretty content with where he's at, and I don't think he needs to push the number quite yet. You know, it kind of reminds me of restrictor plate racing in NASCAR, where you want to be in the right position when the white flag comes out. I think out of these two, I would rather be behind the guy that you want to pass. I wouldn't want to have to defend because the slipstream is so strong here that I think it's going to be really hard to block.
Yeah, it's interesting, but I've seen guys try it even from third. In fact, hopefully they can come away without tears going into the bus stop. Let's leave this little battle here because it looks like that's pretty tame. How about we check in on our spotlighted driver, Thomas Kick? He's in 14th. We thought that maybe his day was done after we saw him get into trouble, but he was able to stay racing out there. The German driver having a nice quiet run, well within the points. About 7 seconds up to Mikael Hoflandaisen, about 15 seconds back to Diego Pierce. Nope, let me correct myself. That would be Darren Kuhn, now in 14th.
Little lockup.
As I mentioned, Diego Pierce, but it looks like Pierce has had internet connection and has left. That's why we have lost him, unless it was an incident cap. Pierce falling down the order, so more positions for all the guys racing behind Diego. Top 3 drivers yet to pit. And then all the drivers from 5th to 9th have still need to pit. Padovani is the question mark as we're getting contradictory information over our timing and scoring. Padovani about 37 seconds behind the leaders right now. That something tells me that he's good to go from here. Maybe I can take a quick look. There's more than one way to figure this out. Go ahead and see if we have any slow laps from Padovani.
I think...
I only see one. I see one on lap 12, so maybe there's another stop for him.
Oh, I know we were talking about Nam just in front of Padovani. He has closed the gap a little bit here, 2 seconds. I mean, and you look at it, you think, oh, 2 seconds out of 23 seconds, that's not very much. Well, it is when you realize top 3 guys need to pit still, and David Burns is in the pits actually right now.
Yeah, here we go. In fact, the fact that Padovani is racing close to Num, that's an indication. All right, let's see what Burns does. We want to see Burns. We want to see if we can pick up the rolling Estonian. Num is long gone. Burns just coming out. The gap from Num is back to Burns almost 7 seconds. Num, well, Burns put in a 9.8. That's what I would have expected. Num put in an 18. So I guess that 18 is just about right. Num had to take a long stop, so I thought it would have been a little bit shorter than that, but there's 18 seconds from Num. Burns's was 9. Mirror images of what the first stops were, yeah.
We were thinking that Burns would be in a great position, you know. He was drafting, saving fuel, and we thought his pit stop might be a little bit shorter, but wow, Num's strategy seeming to be the top one as we look. Paulo Prado going to be on pit road.
Prado's taking rubber. That's got to be a mistake. Rubber's not going to help you unless that was just forced repairs that iRacing made him put the car up on the jack. So, our 2 leaders right now, as you see, we're looking at Prado coming in. There they are. It's Tran and Hausman, although these guys could be in trouble. That 18-second stop from Num. These guys will have somewhere between a 7 and 8-second stop. I would think it's going to be hard-pressed for them to get out in front of the Roland Estonian. I think what was going on there while these guys were racing, Num was putting in those fast times when he was on lighter fuel.
And all these guys, we saw them racing together. They were all pretty comparable. They were all about the same timing. And that's just how much a strategy. When you would think, oh, I just need to make 2 stops, it's a big difference on when you take them and what's the perfect strategy.
Looking at the 2 leaders, Valvalde still leading Camara. That's good. We'll be able to cover that battle as well as they are far enough back. We'll be able to show you the leaders and how all this plays out. I would expect this time that we should be seeing Tran come in soon. We look at Valverde and Camara just waiting. Up, looks like Tran and Hausman are going to stay out one more time if they work past pit entrance. They're side by side as they have long since gone past the source, now down the Camel Straight, heading down into, Lacombe's. Padovani also staying out. Here's a good one, Dawson. Let's look at 6th position, although these guys have to make a stop. This is Josh Brain, Timothy Roman.
Just behind them, you see Nico Roman. And I think when we looked at this earlier, it seemed like these guys are pretty content on staying single file, but maybe we'll see a pass here.
Again, they both need to make a stop. This is in contrast to the Camara Valverde battle that we've been looking at. They go side by side. Roman on the high side, Brain on the low side. Roman gets the pass made as Nico cheers on one lap down behind them.
Do we know, is there any relationship between Tim and Nico?
I think they're both Roman.
Yeah.
That's okay. I do not know. One has to assume. Let's go to 13th position. This is Paulo Prado trying to run down Michael Bittman. But what's interesting is Prado has some trouble coming on from Scott Whitestein, who's behind him several laps down. Whitestein in 27th, racing 5 laps down. Boy, Dawson, you never like to get punted. But to get punted by somebody who's 5 laps down, that's a hard one to swallow. That's not going to happen, though.
No. You saw Whitestein. He probably could have made a move, but there's no reason to. You'd be better off just sticking behind him.
Okay, Tran is in. Hausman is in. Num is just going by the start-finish line. He's long gone. Burns has just crossed the start-finish line. Tran is rolling. This one will be close, but this is what we expected. And as Tran tries to get this car up to full speed, that's Didier Schmidt who gets by. Burns is going to file out in second. Where the heck is...
Weissman's still on pit road.
Bastian now rolling, must have had a speeding penalty or had maybe tires checked or had some mandatory repair as he comes out in 4th. And there's now, Padovani comes in for his second stop, which we expected. As now that Roman and Brain battle has also cooled off. So who's ever out of pit lane first for those guys will be obviously in front. Meanwhile, going by, Camara has passed these guys by, Camara and Valverde. Padovani is in and out, and he retains that 5th position, about 10 seconds ahead of Camara. So, before we get down to the finals here of the race, let's go ahead and run down your top 10, how they stand. It is the rolling Estonian, Errol Num. He was able to come in, get that second pit stop, even though it was 18 seconds. The first one was short enough that it really didn't matter. Just scared Soup a little bit. He races... I don't have timing. Let's see if I can give you timing and scoring. About 5.5 seconds ahead of the driver in second, which would be Tuan Tran. Tran with about 3 seconds over David Burns. And then thanks to that horrible pit stop, it is 18 seconds back to Bastian Hausman. Another 22 seconds back to Jefferson Padovani. And then we get to the best battle out on the track right now, the one that'll really heat up. This is Hendrik Camara and João Valverde as they race nose to tail in 7th and 8th. Oh, I'm sorry, 6th and 7th. Before we cover that battle, let's go back look at Andy Bonar. He's racing in, I thought he was our next one back. Did I miss that one? Oh, it's Brain. Here we go. Brain is racing in 8th position. And he's in that battle as well with Timothy Roman. And then finally rounding out the top 10 is Andy Bonar. Those are your top 10. 17 cars on the lead lap. Well, Dustin, unlike most absolute beginner Formula Neagle races, this one not as hotly contested as is the usual case. And another dollar in the jar.
At the start of this race, I was really expecting there to be 4 cars at the end. We saw the 4 cars at the start, 4 cars basically all together for most of the race, but then Nam kind of went on his own way, tried a different strategy, and all that worked out for him, but yeah, I'm kind of shocked.
Couple big factors. The first stop that was short that took him out of the train, that shook up everything, and he was running those hot laps. Then he came in, took his longer stop the second time through, and even though it was longer, it all worked out in the end. He's well out in front. Our best battle is the one our director has us on right now, Padovani and Camara. Another thing that took away some of the excitement was the pit stop of Bastian Hausman. He should have been up there with everybody, but that stop from him, 27 seconds when it only should have been 9.
Now, I heard our director say something about a speeding penalty. Maybe you would serve that as you're in the pit?
I believe if you get it
after you
before, if you get it before you get to your box, they make you serve it. Otherwise, if you do it exiting, you have to come back in. Yeah, 15 seconds to a 9-second stop. That gets you what, about right about there, 27 seconds, and that's exactly what he had.
It's still going to be a great day, though, for that team. They're going to be able to extend their lead over Nam and Frederick Neptune.
The good news for we do have more battles, though. We're looking at this one here. There's Hausman. Nice battle, though, still between Brain and Timothy Roman. Battle for 8th position. Again, I expect that to play out into the bus stop. So I've done a lot of races here at Spa, so I'm going to do a little bit. I'm going to push out of the way. I'm going to do a little co-commentator work as well here. If you're in 2nd position going down into the bus stop, what drivers will do is protect the inside line, force the driver to take the left side on the first part of the bus stop. But that means that the driver on the outside will have the preferred position off the final part of the bus stop, but the momentum will go to the driver who took the defensive line. So we'll see how it plays out. A lot of times the pass is not made until they finish the bus stop, and often it's the guy on the top side that wins it.
I think as a lead car, if you know that going in there you want to be on a certain side, you'd better pick it early, because if you going down that long straightaway, if you can stay off to the right side, if you want to take that first inside line, better do it early and don't let the guy behind you pick it.
We're right on board of Josh, Pinky, and the Brain, looking back at Timothy Roman. Boy, that is a tight battle. I think Roman happy back there in 9th right now. And you can see just peeking out there, just waiting his time as we have a minute to go. Our leader, Errol Num, let's make sure we're not on the white flag lap. I believe he'll get it this time around. Well, yeah, I think we're going to get the white flag this time. We want to make sure we are not on the white flag lap now. Let's go ahead and put the camera on our leader just to, they never tell us until the very end. He came real close when he came across the line. Num right now heading through 16, heading towards the bus stop. We think that the checker flag is going to come out this time by. So Num heading down towards the bus stop. We're going to assume that Tran and Burns and Houseman, Padavani, all finish second, third, fourth, and fifth. We'll jump right to Valverde and Camara after our leader comes across and gets the checkered flag. Round number 4, season number 12. Checkered flag goes to the Rolling Estonian Errol Num. Tran, Burns, and Houseman should get those positions, as does Padavani. Let's go back to Valverde now. Valverde up in front. This is the battle for 6th. Camara in 7th. Through 15. Now Dawson, what line does Valverde take? Does he stay to the right? Does he just surrender the inside, hoping to have the preferred position on the second side? Let's see what he does. Here comes the run. This could actually be coming too soon. There comes the run from Camara. Now Valverde will tuck back in behind. I think he might have made to do. Valverde trying to find some room make some extra room there. I don't think he's going to get a slowdown for that. He is first to the bus stop. He protects the inside. I think that Valverde is going to get the one. Camara made the pass too soon. Let's jump back to the Brain and Roman battle. All right, Brain protecting the right side as I expected, making Roman go high. Brain backs out of it. Able to chop across Roman. Yeah, Brain took that defensive line too far. He had to back out too soon, give the position to Roman. Brain is going to take 8th. 9th. Roman in 8th.
How about we go to our spotlight driver? They have a battle here for 11th.
How about Hoffland days? And we have one for 11th? Yeah, this is 10th position. Thomas Kick, our spotlighted driver. You found it, Dawson. Hoffland days, and with that damaged car, was able to get around. Thomas Kick fighting back, but I think it's too late. Down into the bus stop for the Am Racing Prime team. Miguel Hofflandaisen is going to get 11th, 12th to Thomas Kick, 13th to Michael Bittman. And we might as well run down, give a little love to everybody here. Darren Kuhn's going to get, I believe, 14th position. DeCampo in 15th. And Frederick Neptune gets that final 16th spot. We're going to take a short break here on the Global Sim Racing channel, but we'll be back in a few to run down the entire finishing order, talk to some of the drivers, and close up shop. Back in a few. Welcome back to the Global Sim Racing Channel's coverage of the Absolute Beginner League's Formula Neagle. Round 4 of 7 in the Season 12 calendar from Spa. Let's run down the finishing order of the race that just concluded. He picks up his 3rd win of the season, increases his point lead, and of course we're talking about the Roland Estonian 4-time champion on his way to his 5th, Errol Num. Tuan Tran finished 2nd. David Third Degree Burns finishes in a familiar position for him, 3rd. Bastian Hausman was 4th. Jefferson Padavani was able to come home inside the top 5. Antonio Vivaldi was a 17th century Baroque composer. He did not race today. João Valverde did race today as he finishes in 6th. Hedrick Camara in 7th position. Timothy Roman and Josh Brain had a great battle. They go 8th and 9th. Andy Bernard rounds out your top 10.
Starting in 11th, Mikkel Hafeldason. Holy cow. He finishes in 11th. Thomas Kick in 12th. We saw their battle right at the end. Michael Bittman, Darren Kuhn, 13th and 14th. Alex Del Campo gonna finish 15th. Frederick Neptune 16th, and now we get to the lap cars. Roger Pricken 17th, Jacob Younger 18th, Nico Roman 19th, and to round out the top 20, Edgar Chanelli.
Sanchinelli. That's all right. Your day is almost done, my friend. Hidden Blackjack. It is Paulo Pareto, Neil Bamber. Outside of him, the double duck spot, Peter Schmidt. Stefan Larkamp in 24th. 25th was Patrick Hingston. Behind him, Scott Whitestein. Diego Peters had that internet problem. I guess he was able to come back as he finished. Well, no, he was 7 laps down, so yes, that was an issue. Finishing in 27th. 28th, 29th, and 30th went to Miguel Rugenbrink, Shalim Hodge, and Liam Mr. Excitement Quinn. Go ahead, Dawson, you get it from 31.
Starting in 31st, Mark Kudrowski. Stephen Nobes, 32nd. 33rd going to go to Troy Goatley. Guillermo Barros, 34th. Leo Miranda, 35th. Ad Tegelar, 36th. Oh wait, no, my scoring's different. We have Tegelar going to be 36th. Ricardo Margarita, 37th. Floris Bishar, 38th. Hugo Gutierrez, 39th. And to round out, Johan Van de Belde, 40th.
There you go, the Fan Belt in 40th. Rounding out the field, it is, look, I get an easy one. Rob Adams, Joachim Lurungam behind him. Then we have Vincent Brame with Kevin Mills, Luke Toulouse behind them. Ludwig Sauer in 46th position, just ahead of Adam Bradshaw. Then 48th, 49th, and 50th went to Andy Moore, Christoph Hancock, and Tony Matthews. I believe those are the only drivers that entered the race. Okay, let's go ahead and talk to some of the drivers that participated in the race, and I'll go ahead and take our race winner here today. Added as Errol Num, the Roland Estonia, picks up his 3rd win in 4 tries, podium every race so far this season. Errol, let's go right to what I think was the key to the race, pit strategy. You decided to take your short fill the first time.
Yeah, I figured it's the best way to do it, and because if I took the whole fuel, then they maybe were able to drag me back, so I took the least amount in the first stop, yeah.
And I think you got fairly lucky with traffic. The spot's large enough that you can do that without it being too costly. While you were running those hot laps on light fuel, traffic pretty friendly for you?
Yeah, I think I got very lucky and I had to take some risks, but it worked out well and everybody was paying attention. I think it was after the 2nd pit stop.
Now, I want to make sure, in my notes, it says that we were going to Lime Rock next race. I want to confirm that. Is that correct? And sure enough, we are. Totally different racetrack. I got to think that a track like Lime Rock that is much more technical, harder to pass, I think you got to like that one, right? For you?
Nah, I've never raced there, but I guess, yeah. But I think it's still the draft track, so let's see.
Well, okay, then I got a follow-up question. How could you have never raced at that one? What was your beginning? Did you just jump right in and skip the road course? You jump right when you first got to iRacing. What did you start racing as?
After the Mazdas, I think I took the Ford Mustang. and did maybe 2 races in the Skippy, but the main race was in the Mustang and the turnout prototype after that.
Got it. Well, congratulations on another win today. Prototypes, yeah, that's a fun one to cut your teeth on. Good luck as we go back to the Americas next week.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
Errol Numm, your points leader, 4-time champion, on his way to his 5th. Let's go ahead and talk to, who would you like to talk to? You want David Burns here? There we go. All right, Dawson, he's all yours.
All right, David, well, it looked like you had a pretty good strategy going. You were able to run out in front for a little while, but then after the first cycle of pit stops, you were able to kind of stay in the back. What was your plan there?
Well, I'd seen Eero doing it for most of the first start, and to be honest, I considered dropping back to try and sit behind it, but then I thought, no, I risk more chance of losing the draft and then just losing it altogether. So I just thought I'll go for sitting behind someone in the second part and see if I can save as much fuel. But I realised early on that he'd taken a bit less fuel, and I thought, he's going to do 2 slightly different size stops, and I knew he was going to be out way in front. I knew it.
Oh, we were wondering, because we thought Nam was maybe going to be a little bit off. He wasn't going to have a draft. You know, we see a circuit like Spa, it's really big, and this little car, it's a big deal to have that draft. And we were thinking maybe you would have the upper hand sitting behind them. But how was it like? Did you have a plan going in with the whole drafting thing, or was it pretty much just fun for yourself?
Pretty much fun, but I did plan to not really be at the front as much. But when I realised the problem is when you start leading, it's very hard to drop back and hold on to the draft. So to be honest, I kind of went with the strategy the second half that I would use more of the draft and try and save, and it did work out in my favour, but just not quite enough. I nearly caught 2 in one more lap.
Yeah, we saw that right at the end. You were really close, but just not quite enough. Next week we head over to Lime Rock. Are you excited for that?
Not really. I have terrible results at Lime Rock. I'm actually pondering the idea of starting from the back just for something different, but that might change come the next race.
All right. Well, we can't wait to see that race. Should be a lot of fun. Thanks. Anybody you want to thank?
Just the organisers of the league. So always a great fun, great race.
All right, that is David Burns, your 3rd place finisher. Soup, you've caught up with Thomas Kick.
Yeah, Thomas is our spotlighted driver here today. Thomas, you have a copy?
Yes, I have a copy.
Well, first of all, you had us scared there as our spotlighted driver. You got into some trouble early.
Yes, it was quite kind of really scary. I don't know actually what happened. All the cars get rambled up in each other. I was not able to brake, and another car slammed into my back, and somehow I ended up in this mess on P36, I guess.
Yeah.
And I don't know how we both managed, me and Michael, to make it to P11 and 12, I think we managed it, but it was really fun. I mean, it was a fun race because in ABL, when you drive mid-pack, it's always full of different drivers, different style of drivers, and you have to adjust. Like every lap, you're fighting a different car with a different driver. And it's hard to find your rhythm in this racing, but yeah, it was really fun.
Spa seems to favor you. You had your best result, a 9th a couple seasons ago, and a 12th here is a pretty good finish for you. You must like this place. Yeah,
I love Spa. Really one of my favorite tracks. I know the track in and out. It suits the Skippy, I think, and it suits my driving style. And I think every race I had in Spa here with this season or with this league, it was always fun. So I enjoy this every season. I hope we're gonna come here back next year again. So it's really fun.
Okay, I apologize for the nickname that you've been tagged with. Strudelmeister, I think, is going to have to live with you, though, but this is an opportunity to find out, what do you really do?
Maybe I will let you guess still. It's fine. I'm not a Strudelmeister, but I will let you guess. But I can make you a promise if I ever, because I don't think this is going to happen, if I ever win an ABL race, I will personally send you a strudel. made by myself, and then you can judge if I'm good at making strudels.
That's great. It's all about having fun. Thomas, you're fun to interview, fun to watch you drive. Good job today. We'll keep an eye on you down the road.
Thank you very much.
All right. The challenge has been laid down. I'm going to start doing some research and find out what he really does. Okay, that'll wrap it up here for the Global Sim Racing channel. We hope you enjoyed today's broadcast. There's a few people we have to thank before we close off shop that makes this broadcast possible. First of all, thanks to everybody at the Absolute Beginner League for organizing Formula Neagle and contracting with GSRC to broadcast it. Thanks to the company's equipment or software you see on the screen right now that we use on the broadcast. And special thanks to Eric Echolm and Casey Lalonde for providing the background music used throughout the show. See the screen for how to contact each of them. And now I'm going to turn it over to my booth mate to tell you about the races that are coming up.
Well, next up in 2 weeks, on the 19th of November, they will head to Lime Rock. GSRC will be there, and we hope you join us. If you'd like to find out more about GSRC, including dates and times for all upcoming broadcasts, your best bet is www.globalsimracingchannel.com. We're also on Twitter at GSR Channel and Facebook at Global Sim Racing Channel.
Finally, on behalf of the man whose voice you just heard, Never Say Die, Dawson Brock, our director Joe Peak, and our camera artist Dougie Beer. As always, I'd like to thank all of you for watching. With that said, we're off to have fun, storm in the castle. So until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.